Welcome to Action Sports Europe Business Channel. Here today we're interviewing Kristoffer Hansson, who is Managing Director for Dotic Management, and we brought him in today just to have a little bit of a chat about the importance of an online presence for the modern athlete, particularly in the digital age. So Kristoffer, welcome.
Thank you. An honor.
No problem. Why do you think that in this digital age it's important for the athlete to have an online presence?
I think in general that you have to go back to why you're getting sponsored as an athlete, why a company wants to pay you money, and in general it's because you want to push products or sell products. So if you have a good online presence, it's just another way to communicate the message, and of course your message as an athlete has to be, that you're a cool guy or girl, role model personality, someone that kids want to emulate, and that's how you get your products out there as well as a sponsor. So I think. And as a sponsor, it's something, when you sponsor an athlete, you do that because you want to get something to talk about with media, through PR, in advertising, to your distributors, and basically, if you have someone with a personality and not only just good rider, then you have something more interesting to talk about.
Sure, but then is it just enough then for an athlete or a rider just to have just a standalone website? I mean, we're living in a world of Web 2.0 and obviously social media. Is it enough now just to have like a biographical website with a couple of videos?
No, not really. Well, the thing is today, I'm specialized in board sports and especially snow sports with free skiing, snowboarding, skateboarding, and there you have so many good kids who are on the same level. Everybody's good. You can go to the local skate park or snow park and see kids throwing up better tricks than the pros. So basically, if you want to get across in this whole make a name for yourself and stand out, you need to add something more. And with just a biographical website, I think it's it's more of a one-way communication. Actually, you don't really communicate anything because it's just this is the food I like, which is interesting to read about once. But then if you want a fan to come back or actually even become a fan, I think you need to have more of a two-way communication. And
is the way then that brands are perceiving athletes in terms of sponsorship and who they want to sponsor? Is it still a case of they want the guy who's winning X Games or winning World Championships, or is it a case now that it's the athlete with the biggest online following and the biggest fan base? Is there a difference between the two?
I think there's always been the difference between the two, when we're talking about film versus competition. Because you had, for the last, basically all action sports didn't come out of competition, really. The X Games is a fairly new phenomenon. I think it's always been the guys who's been filming stand for the progression of the sport. When you come to a competition, you want to do more of a safe trick. So I think more of the fans of the sport actually look into the edits. And now today, you have a million of new opportunities and possibilities to communicate that, not only through DVD or VHS. So I think from that spectrum, it always been working parallel. Of course, a lot of companies are still interested in someone who wins, but preferably you want someone who wins but still have an opening or end part of the coolest video that year, or hopefully as well have an online presence with their own, massive following on Facebook and massive following on the blog. So I think it is always a combination. It's a matter of combination. Those are the athletes who will always stand out compared to the winner, because it's only one guy who can win X Games every year. And if you're not that guy, or it's hard to say like, yeah, we got the guy who got 10th at X Games, but you can say, there's a lot of videos and the opening end part, and there's a lot of following, especially within the core. I think that it's more of a mainstream, like to reach out to the mainstream, that you need the event.
So what are sponsors ultimately looking for then? I mean, if it's not just a case of just someone who will win competitions, I mean, what is it they're looking for in an athlete? Is it someone who can push the boundaries? Are they still looking at the athlete who can do the biggest air, the biggest trick, or is it just about who's got the coolest following, who's got the largest following, who's got the biggest fan base?
I think it is, I think a couple of different sponsors would be better to answer this question than me. But of course, if you go back to what I said in the beginning, why a sponsor wants to pay for an athlete, I think it always comes down to if they want to push products. And if you go for competition rider who doesn't have that other part, the opening part of a cool film or huge online following, then it's less of a personality or someone that the kids really want to emulate. But then it becomes more of a branding strategy, and they can do that by either, I think you see that a lot with some of the energy drinks, where it's about owning the ESPN or the NBC territory, where it's about chucking a logo, on their head. But with that said, nothing bad about the energy drinks, because they're really good on activating as well, and do a lot of activation and PR marketing around them. But I think it becomes more of a branding strategy, that they would just want to get the logo in there. So I think, again, if you bring it in more to the role model personality, I think it's something, something more to talk about as well, especially around even like an event like X Games or Dew Tour, the major ones, Aaron style. They want to build a story, and to be part of that story, you have to have an interesting story to tell. It's not only about winning; it's about, the strive, the struggle to become who you are, and how much fun you have, or whatever it is that you want to tell.